This is going to be a review for episode 310 of Naruto Shippuden, but before I start getting into that, I'm going to start off by saying that this episode was quite a bit better than 309. 309 was one of those episodes that had a lot of very long, dull, and boring scenes that didn't really mean anything, and usually with these kind of episodes, they usually give a pretty good ending, or put in something in there to make up for it and make it more worth watching, such as a good ending that gets you really hyped up and excited for the next episode, like, oh god, I can't wait till the next episode, but they didn't even do that, so it really felt like they didn't really put much effort or work into making this episode. And also there was a couple of questions being risen up and things that didn't really exactly make sense, so it made people a little bit confused. But the main question for a lot of people is, how is Yamato there? You know, he's in Naruto's younger life, and if so, then, you know, my main question is, why did he not help out when the village was being attacked? I mean, really, Yamato could have been a really great help when the village was being attacked. He really could have. I mean, please, creators of the story, don't give me a dumb excuse like, oh, he was out of town that day or something like that. But just generally, he could have really made a huge difference. And this is why I mainly feel like they just slapped things in there into the story, and he wasn't really part of the original story structure as far as, you know, this part goes. But back to 310. As far as 310 goes, there was a lot of cons, such as, you know, the fact that they put a lot more action into it. They did a much better job on it. It wasn't really any dull or boring moments, really, compared to 309. And they did a good job on overall, you know, just making things more cleared up, make more sense. And there was a couple of things that still didn't make sense, but, you know, there's always going to be a couple of those every now and then. And I really like the fact that they are just giving a great story to the samurai, because I really like the fact that they're doing that, because it would not make sense for the samurai to just, you know, the war to continue and them just be there on the side and not really mean anything. We don't really know anything about them. They're just there, and it's really good for them to really make them feel more a part of the main story for the, you know, Naruto series. So I'm really happy that they're doing that, and they did give a great ending for the samurai. I will say that they definitely did a good job on that. And as far as the confusing parts, there was one confusing part where, like, you know, just the main idea of how are the Akatsuki here, you know? People didn't really know about the Akatsuki until Naruto Shippuden, but it did make more sense because Naruto didn't really find out. They didn't really announce themselves to him. They did to the samurai, but of course things didn't end so well for him, so no one got leaked out or really found out, except Lady Tsunade and a couple of people, which is one of those very confusing things, like, Lady Tsunade knew about this? But at the same time, maybe earlier in Naruto Shippuden she made a couple of remarks or something that was a sign that she already knew, and if so, then this definitely makes a lot more sense. Now I'm going to start getting into the cons, and I'm going to say that these are the kind of cons that really shouldn't be a problem because they're over such simple and basic things, and I don't really see why or how they would be able to actually mess up on these. But I'm going to start off by saying that as far as the audio goes, there were a couple of scenes where Naruto's older voice was coming out of the mouth of the younger Naruto, which did not really make sense. I mean, if it's the same actor that's doing the voice for both, you know, the present and the older version of Naruto, or the younger version of Naruto, then maybe his voice was getting really bad. Maybe he couldn't really make it sound like a younger kid. It was really, really hard for him. Or if it was two actors, and maybe the actor for doing the younger voice was out of town, maybe they were busy, maybe they went to the hospital, or something happened and they had to get the older one doing the voice for the younger Naruto. So just generally, you know, these are the kind of things that shouldn't mess up on, really. And some of the other things that they did mess up on included certain scenes where they looked like they were actually a bit older. Let's just say for the main episode, it looked like they were, you know, 7 to 9 years old. And there were certain scenes where they looked like they were like 9 or 11 to 13 years old, which really does not make sense. And I don't know why they're doing this. I mean, maybe they're getting confused because, you know, the original Naruto, from what most people remember, he definitely looked a bit older from some of the scenes that they've been showing lately and some of the fillers. And maybe they just don't want to confuse people, but I honestly think that they should have made up their mind. They shouldn't really change it now, you know, just one thing or the other, instead of, you know, in this episode generally with Shikamaru and everyone, it looks like, you know, there are 3 different versions of everyone, and that just really is confusing, and they really need to just make up their minds and stick to one thing. And I just really don't know why they messed up on this, and it's such a simple and basic thing. I understand shifting from the younger to older version of Naruto, you know, there's quite a bit of different design complexity or something, and it's a bit harder, but they should be doing a better job on this. But generally, I think the episode was pretty good in a lot of ways. But again, these are very simple things that they shouldn't be messing up on. So I would definitely give this episode a 3.5 out of 5 overall at best, because again, there was a lot of cons and things that they felt messed up on, but they did a good job, a lot of action. They definitely gave a great ending for the samurai, and they really put a bit more work into it, and I was really happy with the episode, and it definitely didn't feel as wasteful as 309 was. And are you guys hoping that these fillers end very, very soon, and hoping that Madara shows up pretty soon? Because we've been waiting for quite some time, and a lot of people have seen him in the manga, but we haven't really seen him in the anime, at least not presently and being brought back. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you think that Yamato should have helped out the village when it was being attacked, or if you hope that the filler stops soon and we could actually see Madara moving. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.